It's a great
Welcome.
pleasure to be back again on Insta Live, yeah, and share about
Yeah,
luxury and the industry altogether. So
yeah,
today, as I was told, we will be discussing about marketing in particular, luxury marketing, and I want to discuss luxury marketing through 2 points that the companies implement nowadays in luxury, particularly. One is brand collaboration, and the other one is partnership marketing. So that is how they are reaching out to their customers and they are reaching out to the world to sell their products, right? First of all, I would like to clear the air out on luxury a little bit. I mean, people generally think that anything that is expensive is luxury. I mean, that is actually the concept in China, that anything that is expensive will be sold to you, stating that it's a luxury product, but it is not. Luxury, very simply, can be explained with one word, and that's uniqueness or exclusive. So any product that's unique or exclusive at a particular level can be labeled luxury. I mean, especially brands which have a long heritage of doing what they are doing with finesse to those products are particularly
yeah,
deemed to be called luxury. I mean, it can be a product which you have necessarily spent a lot of time doing research and development and spending a lot of money on it. But though it
mm,
cannot be called as luxury, right? I mean, in particular, if you ask anyone to explain luxury, there will be multiple explanations that people give. But I particularly believe that, it's a state of great comfort and elegance that is derived, especially when you have spent a huge amount of money on it. For me, that is something which explains luxury. And now coming to luxury marketing, again, there is this concept of luxury marketing has probably come up in the last 1 decade or so at the max. I mean, marketing existed before luxury marketing, and brand management existed much long before luxury brand management came into the picture. I mean, when the oldest house, I mean, you can take in, for example, Louis Vuitton, which started its operation in 1854. I mean, back in 1880 or 1890 or even the starting 1900s, it was at the max a mesa, a workhouse, or a family business. Whereas brands like Coca-Cola and P&G had already become big brands, and they were mastering the technique of brand management altogether by then. When these
yeah,
luxury brands were still just mesas and small houses. So I would like to clear the concept of luxury marketing and luxury brand management first, because people think it is something which is very exceptional. Yes, it is. At ground level, it is doing the same thing as what the premium brands are doing, but at luxury, we put in that extra level, that different fine tuning, customizing products as per clients' needs, and all other dedicated services, which particularly make it a luxury product, right?
yeah, yeah,
Coming to luxury brand partnership and collaboration, the first thing that I would like to bring it to notice is what are the brands do first before doing the collaboration and the partnership. Now, the first phase that is the brand DNA and codes. Now, every brand
yeah,
will have their own DNA and they will have their own codes. Now, like human beings, everybody has a unique DNA, right? Now,
yeah,
I mean, at the base, we are all human DNA. I mean, we are all
yeah,
human. So that stays static for across all human beings in the world. Now, that is
yeah,
something which is DNA. And coming to the codes is something which are noticeable, which can be examined by our five senses. Something like that you can see, something that you can taste, something that you can
yeah,
smell. For
yeah,
example, our ethnicity, or the languages that we speak, or the place that we come from. So this associated to a brand is something called as codes. Now,
mm,
taking for example a brand like Louis Vuitton or a brand like Hermes, Louis Vuitton, for instance, the brand DNA is travel. So the brand existed to satisfy the need for travel. I mean, back in those days, travel by road was something which was the only opted method, the only available method. And then the way of traveling by, as and when the industrialization came and developed, we went from roadways to railroads. And then
yeah,
Louis Vuitton started developing products which were inclined towards railways. For example, earlier Louis Vuitton would
mm,
make round shaped trunks so that when they were on the
yeah,
road, if there is rain or snow, they would slide from the trunk stock and would not accumulate there. But when it came to railways, they wanted to pile up trunks on
uh-huh,
top of each other. So that is why the need for
um,
flat beds came in. So Louis Vuitton,
um,
the DNA is travel, but the codes that they have in travel are different from DNA. Now, these codes decide what signatures will be there on each and every product. For example, if you go to
uh-huh,
a Hermes showroom, you will see the pale pink color interiors or orangish color interiors combined with
uh-huh,
different accessories that were used during the horse riding days, like the satchel or
mm,
accessories like the bells that were made. So these comprises of the DNA. Now these comprises of the codes. Now brands and DNS together combined will help you distinguish between which collaboration and which partnership you should go towards. Now, deep diving into, for example, I mean, unfortunately, I cannot show you a picture, but what I can say is there was a brand. I mean, there is still a brand which is a very popular champagne brand. It's called Krug. Now, back in the 1900s, Dom Perignon was overpowering Krug in totality. I mean, because of some strong marketing activities and branding activities. But Krug, as a brand, realized that they are actually different from Dom Perignon. And there is no shame in saying that, we are different. So they came up with the advertisement where it said, no Krug, no thanks. So this is something which is very ambitious to tell in front of a brand like Dom Perignon, which is ruling the market. But when you are very sure at your, the confidence that you are different and what you are giving to your customers are something which is very different to what they have experienced before, you can very powerfully
yeah,
say that, you know. So that is
mm,
what Krug came up with the ad that no Krug, no thanks. I mean, if you're not giving me Krug, then I don't want anything else. Thank you. I mean, even it can be a Dom Perignon, but I don't want it. I only love Krug. So that is something what
uh,
brands do in luxury. I mean, they have very powerful statements stating that I don't want to be something that you want. I am what I am, and if you want to collaborate with me or if you want to buy my products, you are very much welcome. So it was not like how the fast fashion works. Fast fashion works in a way like now the customers are wanting XYZ, so the brands are making XYZ. Well, in case of
yeah,
luxury, it is the luxury makes ABC. Do you want ABC? That is the kind of thought process which runs down, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Now, coming back to collaboration, there are a few brands that I would like to take an example. I mean, I would highly recommend that you people go and check these collaborations. It will give you a much, clearer picture of what the brands are actually trying to do.
yeah,
The brand we all know Ralph and Lauren, right? I will start with the easier brand first. I mean, we all know Ralph
yeah,
and Lauren today. Today, it's one of the very popular apparels brand. It's leading the market in terms of, I mean, if a Gen Z wants to buy something which is kind of matching with his casual requirement, the first option that
yeah,
he would look at is Ralph and Lauren, right? Now, if you see that brand, it first evolved again as it was all about horses. It had a very equestrian culture. It was all about horses. It was about making accessories for horses, different kind of satchels for horses, and nothing but for horses. But then it evolved. It
yeah,
evolved into making apparels for horse riding. Then it evolved even more. It evolved into watches currently, which is the topic of discussion right now. Now,
yeah,
if somebody asks Ralph and Lauren that, you are selling these watches, you are trying to market these watches, what experience do you have in making watches? Because if you're talking about luxury watches, we only think about Swiss watches. If it is not Swiss, it is not luxury, right? Well, Ralph
Yes,
and
yes,
Lauren, what they did to conquer this, myth, they agreed on the point that yes, they are not a watch brand and they do not have the 100 and 200 years of expertise making watches. But what they had was, partnership of brands like Richemont, and through this partnership, they were having access to multiple watch brands like Patek Philippe and all the other bigger players who were already under the Richemont's umbrella. And partnering with them, Richemont, when they launched their watches in partnership, in collaboration with other brands. So their watch
yeah,
faces would not only have Ralph and Lauren, but they would have Ralph and Lauren and a complication from
yeah,
Patek Philippe. So when you're picking up that watch, you know that it matches your profile because it is designed by the brand Ralph and Lauren, whose apparels are what you wear. And then you have the
yes,
guarantee of a brand which is Patek Philippe, which nobody can question. I mean, it's a huge brand. It's one of the finest watch brand that exists currently in the market. The watches are priced at a very huge amount
yeah,
internationally, and of course the quality and the craftsmanship and the recognition that the brand has is unquestionable, right? So
yes,
they
yes,
collaborated with brands like this. So when you bring out a product, I mean, say an XYZ product with movements from Patek Philippe, or XYZ watch with movements from Rolex, or movements from Audemars, any of the bigger brand that you take in. I mean, you will be naturally inclined because you know that this particular product is matching my fashion requirement, plus it is matching the kind of quality requirement that I'm looking forward to from a brand like Ralph and Lauren, because they have collaborated with a bigger brand. So they are getting all the expertise from these brands, the complications, the mechanics, the know-how, everything from these bigger brands, and then bringing that brand and collaborating and bringing out their own product. So that is how luxury brands do their marketing. I mean, just imagine, instead of just bringing out a Ralph and Lauren watch, I mean, I'm sure nobody would have been really inclined to buy it because they know that this brand is good for accessories, clothes, apparels, fashion products, but not for watches. I mean, for watches, I would go to a Rolex or someone else, but not Ralph and Lauren. But just by applying this marketing strategy, they were able to capture a certain segment of, the watch market altogether. Uh, Now
yeah,
there's another brand that I would like to bring to your notice is a brand which
yeah.
everybody knows here. It's called Louis Vuitton.
Louis
Now,
Vuitton, yeah,
a few years back, Louis Vuitton collaborated with 7 icons in the world, and all these people were the best in their industry. I mean, if you Google a little bit, you will find LV iconoclasts. And iconoclasts were basically collaboration based. It was not a partnership; it was a single collaboration, where it collaborated with people like Christian Louboutin. He is a famous designer, as we know. Then they collaborated with person like Mark Newson. He is a very famous industrial designer. Then they collaborated with Riku Akubu. They collaborated with Sidney Sheldon. So these are all the top designers or top architects in their field. And they collaborated with them and brought out products which they named iconoclasts. Now, these products, when they collaborate, are necessarily not for business. Now, collaboration happens for two major reasons. One is image, and the other is business. Now, for example, as we know, a brand called Balenciaga currently in discussion for certain actions that they have taken, right? Now,
yes,
uh, if that brand wants to improve their market, you know, the way the people perceive the brand currently, the market reputation altogether, then they would have to collaborate with a brand which has a very positive uh, feeling towards them. For example, UNICEF, or for example, any other brand that is in UNESCO, or any other brand that is publicly a very favorable brand, in order to turn them around, right? So these
yeah,
collaborations kind of work in that way, which also acts as a marketing feature, but also acts as collaboration for upbringing some other brand who is not doing that well, or bringing up some brand and collaborating with them for the purpose of changing their own perception or persona in people's mind. For example, LV has always been, has been understood as a very serious luxury brand. But when
Yes.
LV, I'm sure you must be knowing, Sahil, when LV collaborated with Supreme,
Yes.
initially people thought that what kind of a collaboration, but then when the product started going off the shelf, people
Yeah.
realized that it was actually a very fruitful collaboration. That same thing
Yes.
is done with the iconoclasts. I mean, Louis Vuitton has collaborated with Christian Louboutin, out of which came a bag, as in a handbag, and out of that came a trolley. So it had few codes of Louis Vuitton and few codes of Christian Louboutin. For example, the red color. So the red color was
Yeah.
used by taking sheepskin with the hair on it. So if you see the Christian Louboutin bag, which LV made, the spine of the goat runs from the center of the bag. I mean, that is the kind of perfection they give. And this actually gave people the perception that LV is not just a serious buyer's product or a serious man's product, but it's also targeted towards who are fun loving, who are a little bit more young. For example, the Gen Z that we are looking at, we are looking up to very much, because in the next 5 years, the Gen Z's contribution towards luxury is expected to go through the roof. And
Yes.
2030, 2035, Gen Zs are supposed to contribute 50 to 60% to luxury purchases globally. I mean, that also comes from the fact that, number of millionaires and billionaires that are happening, those are coming up in the world are below 30 and below 40. So that is why we are
Uh-huh.
concentrating more now on the Gen Zs.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Sorry.
so there is another product which which another product that I would love to talk about is Moblon. Uh, During I particularly talk about these brands because I was associated with them when these changes were happening in the market, and Moblon at that point in time was very much uh, closed to what the archives had to tell about their products, right? So they would
Yeah.
not really venture out of what they were creating, but yeah, take inspirations for certain characters or certain places for the special editions or limited editions, but nothing much for the classic collection. That is when they collaborated
Yes.
with the same artist that Louis Vuitton had collaborated with, who is Mark Newson. Now, Mark Newson designed a pen which had a magnetic sense on the cap, and no matter how you close the pen, the cap will automatically align to the Montblanc mountain, the flower that you see at the pen. So these are the kind of
Uh-huh.
implementations that the brands do in their products in order to achieve luxury marketing. I mean, there is no process for luxury marketing, but there are multiple steps or multiple strategies that you can apply in order to achieve luxury marketing in particular, right? So I mean, in case
Yes.
if you visit Louis Vuitton's older bag collection, or if you happen to dive into the brand's archives in particular, you will see that no matter how outrageous a product Louis Vuitton makes, for example, the small airplane that sold for 25 lakhs, that Louis Vuitton went into controversy for making. So even that small airplane has some kind of inspiration from their archives. Any product that they do, that they design, will definitely market the brands connect with their DNA, the brands connect with their heritage, and the brands connect with the archive, where they can get the details of all the historical products that they have made, what inspired to create those historical
Uh-huh.
products, and also what inspiration they can take from those historical products and put them in the new products. For example,
Yes.
there is a product called Petit Mal. It simply translates into a small trunk, basically. Now, Petit Mal is nothing but a small pocket-sized clutch that Louis Vuitton made for
Okay.
women. Now, they made this taking inspiration from the actual trunks, which they still make under special orders, right? And these petit mals, which are supposed to be a clutch for women, they are made in that same factory where they are making these special order trunks. So this shows, that how much the brand is connected to the roots and how much they want to capture the market, capture the Gen Z, market their products, market their thought process, uh, but yet stay connected to their roots, stay connected to where they came from. So that's how, and especially there are actually there's a lot to talk about brand collaboration and brand marketing, because currently there's lots happening. I mean, if you will talk about jewelry, then there's a brand called Van Cleef and Arpels. I'm not sure. I mean, there's not many people who know about this. People know about Tiffany, but people actually don't know about Van Cleef and Arpels. Now, this brand Van
Yeah.
Cleef and Arpels is, it's a product of a love story. There was
Okay.
there are two Jewish families, Van Cleef and Arpels, who came
Mhm.
together as a result of their of son and daughter falling in love with each other and then eventually getting married. And they wanted to celebrate this association so much that they created a brand called Van Cleef and Arpels. Now, when they were in this business already, they wondered as to what to keep as an inspiration so that they stand apart from the other jewelry makers. I mean, Tiffany was already there. There's Cartier, who has been doing amazing work ever since. I mean, Cartier is what they called as the jeweler of the kings, or the king of jewelers. So they have already been there. So now Van Cleef and Arpels wanted to understand as to how to differentiate their company or their product from the others. So they came up with the idea of, since this brand was a result of an amalgamation of two people, they wanted to keep the DNA of the brand as love or poetry or art. So if you see all the watches that they make, the fine jewelry that they make, particularly the watches that I would like to talk about, because it very clearly signifies the love story. I mean, you should all go back to and watch a clip from YouTube about the brand Van Cleef and Arpels. I mean, it beautifully shows how the watches, the second and the hour, the couple wait for 24 hours to come and meet
Okay.
again each other at 12 o'clock. So the hand moves and the hours move, and they meet every day at 24 at midnight. So, and the
Wow.
hand is a female and the hour is a man. I mean, it's a beautiful
Uh,
story. And if you go to other watches, they will be mostly like a jewelry pieces, but only when you reveal the
mhm.
top portion of that jewelry, you see a
Uh,
small miniature watch inside. So it's not about selling a product. It's about marketing the story. It's about marketing the feeling that comes with the product. I mean, that's what luxury is all about. Luxury is all about storytelling. I mean,
uh,
if you want to, if you're a good storyteller, I'm sure you'll be doing wonders in luxury industry, because people actually don't buy products. I mean, they come here for the experience. They come here for connecting to the brand. They come here not just for buying a very expensive watch. They come here to
uh,
relate to that brand, and once the relationship is established, they keep coming back. They never go to someone else. For example, I mean, people who love the formal attire and they love the new amalgamation of colors in everyday
uh,
formal attire, and people who have
uh,
known or who have seen a brand like Montblanc evolve from black and white to something very colorful now. I mean, earlier you would not see anything apart from black in a Montblanc store. But today, if you go,
uh,
you will see red, you will see indigo, you will see, all sorts of vibrant colors, denims, and everything to match with the Gen Z in particular, but no one else. So that's more about, and there's a lot to talk about luxury brand marketing and luxury brand collaboration. But
uh,
the time permits us to only share as many stories as we can. If you're talking about only luxury, then yes, definitely
yeah.
luxury and fashion brand management is a course which will definitely prepare them. And especially in MBA ESG, what we follow is industry practitioners. I, coming from an industry, along with me, there are other connects in the industry whom I keep bringing on and off. Like we do have a guest lecture happening in the campus tomorrow for
Uh-huh.
luxury marketing again. So we keep bringing these luxury experts in order to, because 2 years is a long time. By the time you enroll
Yes.
for the course and by the time you finish the course, it will be 2 years. And two
Yeah.
years is a lot of time for luxury market to change and become something else compared to what it is today. So we keep bringing these
Yeah.
luxury experts to give you more inputs on what's happening latest in the industry, what is the future like, what the companies are expecting their future clients to be like, and things revolving around future. So that gives them an outlook. Plus, yeah, you need to completely be aware of what's happening in the luxury market, be subscribed to different editions that are available, giving you literature about the luxury industry in particular. And definitely, you need a lot of certifications, and most importantly, you need on-job training. So that can happen only
Yeah.
once you start, working for a luxury industry. You have to
Yes.
understand what happens, at the front end in order to be able to do back end job. Because if you don't know what happens at ground zero, you will not be able to assume what to do sitting in the back end. So in order to be part of marketing department or any other department for that matter, you need to start in the front end for some time. And of course, the qualification that you have gathered over the last 2 years and the experience that all the inputs that you have gotten will definitely help you grow at a faster rate and achieve what you want to do. It
Okay.
depends upon what you're trying to achieve. I mean,
Uh-huh.
if you're talking about collaboration, I mean, I have talked about bigger brands like Louis Vuitton collaborating with Christian Louboutin and Frank Gehry and Karl Lagerfeld, all these people. But there are brands like Gucci that have also collaborated with a brand called North Face. I mean, it's not a small brand, but it's not a luxury brand as well. But see,
Yes.
collaboration completely, the purpose of the collaboration, I mean, the idea of collaborating with a brand depends upon what you want to achieve, which sector you want to,
Yes.
what is the exact idea or benefit that you want to retrieve out of it. For example, when Louis Vuitton, like the iconoclasts that I mentioned, Louis Vuitton
Yes.
associated with them, this particular thing happened when the designer changed. So when Marc Jacobs
Uh-huh.
left and a new designer came in, that is when this collaboration took place. Now, this collaboration was a very significant one where people really wanted to show that Louis Vuitton is not a single-minded brand, but it can also do outrageous things. Now, MBA ESG luxury management curriculum is particularly an MBA course. So it is just
Uh-huh.
like the other MBA courses. You get an MBA certification where
Uh-huh.
we teach you all about the Masters of Business Administration. So you have all the core subjects in your first semester as well as second, third, and fourth semester, but majorly in the first semester because we start with the
Uh-huh.
specialization from second semester. So this course
Uh-huh.
will, so we are one of the, you can say, education institute who focuses on sectoral immersion. Now, sectoral immersion is spread across all the three semesters: semester three, semester four, and semester two, semester three, and semester four. Now,
Uh-huh.
sectoral immersion is giving you an idea about all the sectors in luxury. For example, there's gastronomy, there's oenology, which is wines, then there is horology, which is watches. So there's you get luxury knowledge of not only one domain, but you get luxury knowledge of all the particular categories that exist in the market. And this is a
Okay.
proper degree course, it is not a certification course. So if you want to go
Uh-huh.
ahead and pursue PhD, or you want to pursue another thesis, or you want to go abroad and study, this course
Uh-huh.
particularly allows you to do all of this. And yes, there are multiple other courses which are taught by a French faculty who come in for teaching you particular courses, which is starting in the month of March for us. So you get all
Uh-huh.
kind of exposure to build you and make you ready for the luxury market, and keeping in mind that, luxury in India is currently the focus. So luxury in India will grow exponentially in the next 10 years. And I think it is the right time to focus in this industry. I mean, I started luxury at a time when there was very few or very less competition. But right now, the competition being very high, I think MBASG is a college which has designed a course which lets the student be prepared for what's out there, including guest faculties from the industry, mentors, foreign faculty from France in particular, who come from the heart of fashion and luxury, and they teach you what's happening. We also had people visiting us, from the the French Republic consulate also, and come and
Yeah.
given us exposure about the Paris Olympics that is going to happen this year, and how they want to collaborate, and everything. So you not only get the education part, but you most importantly get what's happening out there in the world in real time basis, and not only theory. So this is something which a lot of brands don't do, but then you will be knowing that there is a news floating in the market that LV recently hired a 12 years old boy because of his amazing designs in particular. So you never know what opportunities come your way. Yeah, the world is open for a lot of things, and a lot of things can happen. But yeah, you need to have the qualities, and you need to have the understanding of that particular industry to be absorbed by them. To be very honest, something, this is out of experience, that I would like to tell. I mean, I'm sure the people who are here must be inclined towards luxury and pursuing luxury education and together. I would like to tell them that before pursuing luxury education, please open yourself to luxury. Subscribe to newsletters, subscribe to magazines, get to know about what's happening, because the college can only provide you as much possible, but your understanding and your the extent of uh, going to luxury market depends upon how much time or how much of yourself is what you are willing to give. You can never really say that if I have done this, this should be enough. I mean, even today when we wake up in the morning, there are new things already, and there are a lot of things that we don't know about. When we are discussing with peers is what we get to know, because we can only keep track of as much, right? But there is a lot more happening in the luxury world than what you can keep track of. So yeah, keep yourself updated.